Hello everyone and welcome to this Java tutorial. In this Java tutorial, I'm going to be explaining about operators. So in the previous class, I explained about comments, okay, and math functions. So math functions. If you talk about math, what do you remember first? Yes, addition, subtraction, division, all these kind of operations. And what are required to do these operations? Some operators. In maths, you call them as symbols. That is plus, minus, into, divided by, modulus. These are all symbols in maths. But in Java, they are known as operators. Okay. So there are types of operators in Java. That is, there are two basic types. Like the primary two types of operators in Java are unary operators and binary operators. Okay. So unary operators, what are they? So whatever the operators work on, like whatever action they do on something, some value, and those values are known as operands. So binary operators require two operands, okay, require two operands for that operator to be meaningful. So like as you can see over here, the a plus b, a minus b, a equals to b, like these are binary operators. Okay, a plus b, so a is an operand and b is an operand. So this plus is a binary operator because it requires two operands, a value a and a value b, and minus also requires a value a and a value b. So like that, there are binary and unary operators. Unary operators, as you might have guessed, require only one operand, as you see over here, b equals 20 and a plus equals 20. So these are unary operators. In unary operators, there are two, that is the assignment operators and incrementation and decrementation operators. So let's get on with binary operators first. So in binary operators, there are four that we are going to be discussing. Okay, arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, and assignment. Not assignment. There are three: arithmetic, relational, and logical. Assignment is unary operator. Ternary operators we'll be discussing while I am explaining to you the conditional structures. That time we'll be discussing about ternary operators. Bitwise operators we're going to be discussing later. I'll tell you when. Okay, bitwise operators are later classes. We still have time for that. So let's go with the first three binary operators first. Three types of binary operators. First, arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators, you can see in the last two rows, plus plus and minus minus, incrementation operator and decrementation operator. So this is the unary operator I was telling you, incrementation and decrementation. Okay, so these two come under unary operators, not binary operators. The binary operators are from plus until modulo. Okay, these last two are unary operators. We'll discuss about them in the last again. Okay, so the plus, minus, into, and division, you already know what they do. Plus does addition of two numbers, minus does subtraction of two numbers, into does multiplication of two numbers, and forward slash does division of two numbers. And the modulus operator, it does the same thing that the division operator does, but it does not return quotient. What division operator does is completes all the division and then it returns the quotient. But modulus operator, it completes all the division but it returns the remainder. So division operator returns the quotient, modulus operator returns the remainder. Okay. Next we go to the relational operators. Relational operators are used to explain the relation between any two operands. So like these relational operators, they return true or false values, Boolean values, as I told. In the data types video, I had explained about data types. In that, boolean was one of the data type. So boolean has two values, I said, true or false. So what relational operator do, it checks the condition of two operands and returns if it's true or false. So the equals to operator, double equals to, it checks if the two operands are equal in value, and then if it's equal, then it returns true. If it's not, it returns false. So these operators are mainly used in conditional structures. Okay, conditional structures require these operators. The ternary operators does not require this, but the if structures and else structures, those require them. I'm going to explain what are they in the next class. Okay, so the equals to operator checks if both operands or both values are equal in value, and then it returns if it's true. If it's equal, then returns true. If it's not equal, false. Not equal to, you see the exclamation mark over here, that exclamation mark is a logical operator known as not. Okay, so not equals to is a relational operator. So as you might have understood, not equals to checks if both operators are not equal. If they are not equal, it prints true or else false. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, these all work in the same way. Just like the first three operators I explained, first two operators I explained, this checks if they are greater. If the operand 1 is greater than operand 2, this checks if operand 1 is smaller than operand 2. This checks if operand 1 is greater than or equal to operand 2. This checks if operand 1 is less than or equal to operand 2. Okay. Now moving on with the logical operators. The logical operators are 3 in number, that we'll discuss. There are more logical operators. They are known as logical bitwise operators. As I said, bitwise operators we'll be discussing in the later classes. So bitwise operators are not for now. So there are 3 logical operators that we are going to be discussing. They are the AND, logical AND, and logical OR, logical NOT. So logical AND has 2 ampersands. They return true if both conditions are true, else false. Like there are 2 conditions. So these operators, logical operators, are dependent on relational operators, dependent directly or indirectly on relational operators. Okay, so you can directly mention like A is greater than B and B is greater than C. If A is greater than B and B is greater than C, both return true, then only the conditions are true. Even if one is false, then it returns false. Okay, or also checks the conditions. Even if one condition is true, it returns true. Like A is greater than B is greater than A. Over here, only one condition can be true. Even if both conditions are true, it's going to print true. If one condition is true also, it's going to print true. If both conditions are false, then it's going to print false. So A is greater than B or B is greater than C, then it's going to print true, because at least one condition should be true over here. A should be greater than B or B should be greater than A. If both are false, like if they are equal, then it's going to return false. Okay, that is the logical OR operator. Next is the logical NOT operator. So if the condition false, then it returns true. That is simple, because not false means true. It's like if the condition is true, it will print false, because it will print the opposite of whatever the condition is. It will return the opposite of whatever condition is. If the condition is false, then it will print true. It will return true. If the condition is true, it will return false. Not true is false, not false is true. Okay. Next, okay, first let's try out this binary operators. Okay. Then will you move on to unary operators. Let's open Eclipse IDE for Java developers. student's workspace. If this is your first time using Eclipse, or you don't know how to download Eclipse or use Eclipse, I will leave the links in description for previous videos, that is the Eclipse download video and the Eclipse using video, how to use Eclipse. Okay, so if this is the first time you are using Eclipse, you might get some different page from this. You're not going to get some place to write, and there are going to be some 2 or 3 places like this, package extra and some dialogues. Okay, so I prefer you should go and refer to that videos first and then come to this video. Those who have already used Eclipse or did something on that, it's going to have a place to write over here. So we're going to create a new project now. File, new Java project. Okay, let's give the project name as lesson 3, and don't create a module. Okay, so even after you create the project, there's going to be no place to write. So for a place to write, you should click on this arrow mark over here. It's going to give this src. You're going to view a file called src. So right click on that src and new over there and class. Give the class name. Let's give binary operators. Okay, let's take public static void main method stub, or let's write it from scratch. Okay, finish. Okay, this is going to be the place or the editor where you write your code. Okay, so first let's create a method over here, public void main. We shall not be using static void main. Okay, static is a keyword. I'll explain what that static keyword is used for later. Okay, for now we'll use public void main. Void means there's no return type. Okay, there can be void public int main. Okay, public int main, or public boolean, or any other data type, public boolean main. Okay, but these methods over here which have a return type, which you are specifying a return type over here, they should return that return, and we should return some boolean value. Return is a keyword that returns some value, and a boolean value because we kept the return type as boolean. So let's give true and semicolon, and that's going to remove the error. Okay, but now we're going to be using public void. We don't want any return type now. Okay, so now let's declare some variables. So variable declaration, if you know how to do it, then you can follow up with me. If you do not know, then you might want to go and check my other video, that is variables and data types. Okay, it's in the playlist. I'll be posting that at the end of the video. In the playlist there's that video. Okay, so now let's declare some int variables, int a comma b, because binary required 2 operands, so a comma b. Now let's give some values to this. A equals 56, and let's give b a value of 67. There are some random values. Okay, now let's try some operators. Let's print the result. For printing the result, we need system.out.println. That's a method in the java.lang package. System.out.println. print ln and a semicolon. Okay, so whatever you give in this, it's going to print that variable. If I print a, it's going to print a. Sorry, this is the run configuration. We should create a new run configuration. Run as configurations. Let's give a name binary operators. Binary operators. Project lesson 2 main class. The main class is like lesson 2 dot binary operators. Binary operators. Okay, and run. Could not find. One second. Run configurations. Lesson 3. Okay, this is in lesson 3, not in lesson 2, so that's the mistake. Lesson 3 and binary operators. Lesson 3 dot binary operators, and run. It should work, hopefully. Please define the main method as public static void main. Okay, the main method should be public static. That's a mistake, sorry. Public static void main string args. Okay, now run. It's going to work. 56. So the a value is 56 and it prints 56. Okay, now let's do some operations over here. Let's start off with arithmetic operators, that is plus, minus, divided by these operators, a plus b. Okay, operand 1, operator, and operand 2. Okay, and run this. 56 plus 67, 123. Okay, now since b is greater, let's do b minus a or a minus b. It's an int data type, so it's going to return in negative values, negative 11. Okay, a divided by b, 0. So int data type will always return an int value. So both are int, and 56 divided by 67, it's going to return 0 because it can't return a float value. Okay, so it can't return decimal value in the place of an int. So let's change this to double, then it will work. Double. Okay, now it's going to work fine. 0.8, whatever the answer is. Okay, let's give float. Let's see that what it will do. Okay, float returns lesser values, only 7 digits after the decimal point. Okay, let's use float for now for the remaining operations, and the modulus, that's the only thing remaining. 56.0 is the remainder. Because we are using float, it does not do a complete division. If we are using double, it would do maybe a complete division. Let's see if it gives a different result with double. No, it gives the same result. Okay, let's see b modulo a. Now it gives 11. Okay, so that works. So those are the binary or arithmetic operators. Next, let's go to relational operators. Okay, relational operators are equals to, not equals to, greater than, less than. These are relational operators. So let's try them. So let's see if B is equal to A. If you're checking if both operands are equal, we should always use a double equal to, because a single equal to is an assignment operator, like it assigns some value. So B equals to A, and it's going to print false because they are not equal. False, because it returns false, and println prints whatever it returns. Now let's see if it prints true for not equals to and true. Okay, let's try greater than. B is greater than A, so true. B is smaller than A, and false. B is smaller than or equal to, still gonna print false. If B is greater than or equal to, it's going to print true, because it is greater than but not equal to. It's or greater than or equal to, so at least one condition is satisfying, so it prints true. Okay, now let's give these both equal values and see. 67. It still prints true because one condition is satisfying. Greater than or equal to is true, so it prints true, even though greater than is not true. Okay, so now let's go with logical operators. As I said, logical operators, they need what we say, relational operators. Let's not use relational operators right now. We'll use true or false. True, it's a keyword, and false. Let's see what it returns. It's going to return false mostly, and it's false because and for the and function, the and operator to work, both of the values need to be true. So even if one value, or if even one operand or one condition is false, it's going to return false. So we'll say both of them as true. Now it's going to return true. If both are false, it's going to return false. Okay, now or operator, true or false, we'll see. Now at least one of it is true, so it's going to return true. Let's see if both are true, and it returns true. If both are false, it's going to return false. Now it's going to return false because both of them are false. Now coming to the not operator, it requires only one operand, so only one condition, but that condition requires two operands, so it still comes under a binary. Okay, and not true. So true, for the true condition, let's see. Okay, let's give a variable, boolean variable for this. Boolean, I'll explain how it requires two conditions. Boolean BL. Okay, so the default value of boolean will be false. Let's see. So the default value of boolean, wait, okay, it does not. Okay, so let's give a condition for BL. Boolean BL equals, A and B are initialized afterward, so BL equals A greater than B. So now there's going to be a condition for BL now. So let's print boolean BL right now, and false, because A is not greater than B, because it is equal to B. Okay, so now let's give it a 76 greater value. Now it's going to return true. Okay, so that is the logical operator. Now let's go to the unary operators. The logical operators are completed. So now the unary operators. Okay, in unary operator there are incrementation and decrementation, and one more I said as unary operator. It's in the arithmetic, that is the plus it's in the assignment one. Assignment operators, these are also unary operators. Okay, so equals to, plus equals to, minus equals to, into equals to, they are combination of arithmetic operators and the equals to sign. Okay, so now let's go with incrementation and decrementation operator first. Okay, as I said, there are plus plus and minus minus. The plus plus increments the value of operand by 1, and minus minus decrements the value of operand by 1. Okay, so the plus plus increments, that is makes it greater by 1. It adds 1 to whatever value it is. So it's like if you take OP as some operand or a variable, so let's say variable V equals 27, and 27 plus V plus plus, so it's going to add 1 to 27, that's going to be 28, so it will return 28. Okay, so now in unary operators there are two types, postfix and prefix. So postfix comes after the operators and prefix comes before the operators. Okay, so postfix operators and prefix operators, what the difference is, like what difference will be in the output, let's see first. Okay, let's print first. Let's go with the postfix operators. Postfix comes after operand, so A plus plus, A value is 76 and it still returns 76. Let's try plus plus A. Okay, plus plus A, and let's see what different it does now. It returns 77. So why is that? So what's the difference between postfix and prefix over here? So postfix operator, what it does is, first it uses the value, then it increments it. So like I'll show you now. So let's see how to make this work. Let's do A plus plus over here. Okay, let's give a statement called A plus plus over here. Now it's going to increment over here. Okay, let's see. Now it's going to print 77. Let's see why that happened. For more clear understanding, first let's print A plus plus, and then in another statement let's print A. Okay, in this statement we are going to print only A. Okay, it's going to print 76 first and 77 next. So why is that? What postfix operator does is, it first uses the value. So like whatever function is being done on that operand, it first lets that function be done, and then it increments that. So first what the function is being done on A is, it's going to be printed. So first it prints the value, then it increments the value. That's the same with we say minus minus also. Okay, but prefix operator, it doesn't do that. First increments the value and then lets whatever function be done on them. So like let's give this A after plus plus instead of before plus plus and see what the difference is. Both are 77. Why is that? Because first the prefix operator, what they do is, first it increments the value, then lets whatever be function that is doing be done on them. Okay, so that's the difference between postfix and prefix. Okay, now let's come to the assignment operator. Okay, assignment operators are one example of assignment operator is this equals to over here, because you are assigning a some value, you are assigning a the value of 76, so a value will come 76. Okay, that is the basic assignment operator. There are some more assignment operator that is a mix of the equal to and the arithmetic operator. Okay, let's see that first. A plus equals. Plus equals is a assignment operator. A plus equals 1. Okay, so what this plus equals does, whatever you give after the equals to sign, plus equals to, it's going to add that number to the existing value of this. So a value is 76, so it's going to add one number to the 76 and make it 77. Okay, so let's comment this statement out and let's see, 77, because it adds one, it adds the value of 1 to the pre-existing value, that is 76. Okay, same is with modulus and division and into or anything like that. A minus equals 1, it decreases one value. The boolean value is not needed now, and let's remove this BL. Okay, a and b, a minus equals 1, so whatever operator you give over here, a arithmetic operator, it does that operation on this with the value that you give over here. So in a way, even this is a binary operator. Okay, so even this is a binary operator actually, but you are going to be giving some raw value over here, or you can give other value. So a plus equals 1 is the same as a plus equals 1 is the same thing as a equals a plus 1. Okay, you're doing the same thing over there. So this is a binary operator, not unary. Okay, so those are the operators. In the next video, I'm going to be discussing about conditional constructs and input using parameters. Okay, input using parameters and conditional constructs. Okay, so that's it for this class. Thank you everyone. If you like this video, please be sure to like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any suggestions with my way of teaching, please be sure to give them in the comment box down below. Thank you and bye bye.